Sevilla is the home of Spanish tapas. I ate heaps of dishes when I was there, so I've got tons of inspiration for this menu.
Sevilla is the capital of Andalusia.
Yeah, the pringá, completely unique to Seville. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And with an estimated 4,000 tapas bars, it's home to some seriously good food.
We're in piggy heaven. Check this out.
This region is also famous for its jamón Iberico, acorn-fed, free-range pigs with a flavour that melts in your mouth.
Not bad. Sevilla being the home of tapas has inspired me to put together 4 tasty little dishes for you. Order in.
Under the 800-year Moorish rule, Sevilla became one of Andalusia's greatest cities. In fact, an old Spanish proverb states, "He who has not seen Sevilla has missed the marvel."
There's some cities in the world that as soon as you arrive, you're filled with a sense of romance, history and excitement. Sevilla is definitely one of these cities. It's here where the Spanish Inquisition kicked off, and on the banks of this river is where Magellan set sail to circumnavigate the world.
Sevilla, or Seville as we know it, is the capital of Andalusia and is situated in the northwest corner of this autonomous region. From here, I'm planning on visiting the mountainous region around Aracena. One of the best examples of Sevilla's grandeur is the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Sea.
The breathtaking Sevilla Cathedral has some really interesting history. It's built on the side of an old mosque, and you can still see the dome and the old bell tower, the minaret. It also holds the bones of Christopher Columbus, and it's the 3rd largest church in the world.
The Moorish legacy infuses the architecture of Seville. And next to the cathedral is the Alcazar or fortress, one of the best examples of Moorish architecture in Spain.
Back in 712 AD, when the Moors first conquered Sevilla, they got to work straight away building this beautiful palace. And standing here now, you can really feel a link between Andalusia and Morocco.
This is the oldest royal palace in Europe, and its extensive gardens are a must visit when in Sevilla.
No other city I've been to in Andalusia have I felt the Moorish connection more than here in Seville. But this place has got another secret. It's also the spiritual home of tapas. There's over 4,000 tapas bars in this city alone, so I better get started. I think it might be a long night.
I'm meeting an old friend and food writer, Tara Stevens, who splits her time between Morocco and Spain. Her knowledge of Moorish history, combined with her love of fine tapas, should make her the perfect friend for a tapas hop through Sevilla.
Hey.
Hey, Shane, welcome to Spain.
Great to see you. I'm good.
You too. Are you ready to eat?
I'm ready to eat and drink.
Yeah? Yeah, OK, let's go.
What better place to start than the oldest tapas bar in town, El Reconcijo, which opened in 1670.
Well, the thing about tapas is people go out for a drink, for an aperitif first, and then they'll spend some hours moving from bar to bar, going from place to place. And then I think that there's nowhere better than Seville to do it in. So I think we should just get ordering, shouldn't we? Let the evening begin.
Something
let
to
the
eat and
games
drink.
commence. Yeah.
First up is Spain's iconic jamón Iberico. It's my absolute favourite.
Buenísima, hermosa.
Beautiful.
And later on, I'll be visiting a farm to see how it's produced.
It's always going to be a good night when it starts with a slice of lemon.
And a glass of manzanilla.
The next tapa Tara has ordered is spinach and chickpeas smothered in garlic.
Chickpeas, of course, came here with the Moors, so it's a really ancient dish.
It's really good. You know, you can taste the chickpeas in there. Normally with chickpea dishes, they kind of fade out and they're just as a filler. But you can really taste them, nice and soft. The spinach is gorgeous, and that garlic just sort of whacks you in the face. But I could definitely see the links with that to Morocco. Can't really see the links with the jamón to Morocco.
Yeah.
As the story goes, when the Moors were driven back into Morocco, people would hang hams in front of their windows to prove they weren't Muslim. Over the centuries, this developed into the prized jamón we know today.
Well, I think we have to move on because there's so much to see and so much to eat. So, vámonos.
Let's do it.
So this next place that we're going to, it's basically a sort of working man's bar.
They're the best.
Totally unpretentious.
Yeah. Is this the place you were telling me they make those little porky sandwiches?
Yeah, the pringá.
Great.
The pringá, very completely unique to Seville. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
A couple of beers and a pringa then.
Beers and a pringá it is.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bordeguito Romero has been family-owned for 70 years, and its regulars all come back for 2 dishes in particular.
Oh, yeah. They look really good.
So this is patatas aliñadas, which basically means dressed potatoes. His secret is that he puts in a splash of sherry vinegar and it gives it this lovely brightening acidity.
You can really taste it. It's kind of, a little bit sweet towards the end and it helps cut all the olive oil. But that's what I want to taste. So tell me about this, what's inside?
The famous pringá. So the pringá comes out of a classical Spanish stew. It's called a cocido. It's bits of pork, it's chorizo, it's morcilla, the blood sausage, all boiled down in a broth. And he's put the meat into a really soft bun and then he puts the lot into the oven.
But if you can see when you squeeze it, how juicy and oily it is inside, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Like, straight away you can see it's going to be good.
Are we going to dig in?
Oh, mate, I'm already there. Oh. You can taste the blood sausage in there, and you can taste all the sort of braised pork. The bun's really soft inside, and it's crunchy as hell on the outside. It's really good.
I'll drink to that.
So common at tapas crawls like this, the locals even have a name for it, tapayar, which literally means tapas hop.
So we're heading to this very elegant bar, in fact, now. So polar opposite of where we've just been. Oh, gracias. And it's where the King and Queen like to eat when they're in Seville.
The King and Queen of Spain?
The King and Queen of Spain.
From working class to upper class, this is Barra Casa Robles. This award-winning restaurant is celebrated for its seafood.
These carabineros, which are these sort of blood-red, giant shrimp, sweetest, most extraordinary flesh, and then these saltwater crayfish.
I love them. How do they cook it? Are they just a la plancha?
A la plancha. It's a la plancha, so a little bit of salt, straight onto the grill. I mean, you don't need to do anything to seafood like that.
Andalusian cuisine is defined by its high-quality produce, cooked simply. And when it's accompanied by a local dry white, you have the perfect meal.
Oh, wow.
All right, thank you. Well, look at these monsters, my goodness.
Wow, look at that. But I really want to try these. These are the most huge prawns I've ever seen in my life. They're massive. Look at that. Oh. I haven't even got any words for that. I don't know what to say. That's pretty good. Tara, thanks for taking the time to show me around Seville tonight. This is amazing. I'd never expected to find tapas like this. But I'm a man at the end of the day. A beer and a pringa, it's still got it, hands over fist for me. But it's been an amazing night, so thanks a lot. Thanks.
Absolute pleasure.
Cheers.
3 different tapas bars and 3 totally different experiences. There's a lot to work with. But what I'm thinking, I'll steal a little bit from each and create my own brand new tapas.
I'm making a crayfish pringa. And I'm going to serve it with a kind of gazpacho-flavoured mayonnaise. But it's not really gazpacho. A little bit of store-bought mayonnaise, a bit of ketchup, and to get that rich tomato flavour, a little bit of Tabasco. For that fresh cucumber flavour, you can't go past some cucumber. Diced onion.
And to freshen it up, I'm adding some parsley and mint and seasoning to taste.
All the flavours in the mayonnaise are going to give heaps of zing and heaps of freshness to this pringa. Some poached cray. Now, you don't have to use cray. I'm using it because it's a sweet meat and I want it to be sweet in there. And one last thing for the filling is I'm going to add some watercress just for a little bit more freshness.
Now for the bread.
Best thing about this is it's so simple. You need to find some good bread, something crunchy, baste it a little bit with some olive oil on both sides, and I'm going to fry this up just on a low temperature so the outside of the bun is crispy and the inside soft. That bread sounds ready. It's really crispy. And that crunchy, toasty bread is the best bit of the pringa that I remember. Some fried prawns, which are going to add another layer of crunch in there. And I'm just gonna pile it in the middle. There's no way I'm gonna let my customers get a taste of this before me. So, you know what? It really doesn't taste anything like a pringá, but it really reminds me of it. So juicy, so crunchy. That's a real winner.
To accompany my seafood pringá, I'm serving a Spanish potato salad with grilled octopus.
So that's gonna be something tasty to nibble on.
And together, these two dishes will be perfect for my lunch crowd. Jamón Iberico de Bellota is widely considered to be the world's best ham. These free-range native pigs roam a region of Spain and Portugal known as the Dehesa. This environment is a key factor in their extraordinary quality. And showing me around her farm is Ana Vasquez and her assistant Uwe.
So what is it about these hills that make it so good for jamón?
Pues el cerdo ibérico se cría en la dehesa. Entonces, la dehesa se compone en su estrato arbóreo de encinas, de alcornoques, de cuyos frutos se alimenta el cerdo ibérico.
The pigs gorge on the acorns that fall from the trees. And their free-range foraging through the hills helps them build muscle and fat, resulting in a ham with a distinctive nutty flavour.
El cerdo ibérico es el animal que más aprovecha la dehesa, no solo para su alimentación, también para quemar la grasa. Al estar andando por el campo, pues va quemando toda la grasa. Eso hace que la grasa se infiltre dentro del músculo y no se localice fuera.
So after a couple of years of roaming around the Dehesa, they head down to the chop house and then they end up here. And this is where the real magic happens.
As well as the farm, Anna's family have their own curing house, and overseeing the whole operation is her father, Pepe.
Bueno, vamos a entrar al secadero natural, que es donde tenemos todas las piezas con la curación ya.
We're in piggy heaven. Check this out. This is great.
The curing process is as crucial as their farming methods, and it's clear that this family's love and attention to detail produce an amazing jamón.
Para saber un buen jamón de bellota, tiene que estar la grasa muy fina, como un aceite de oliva. Y al tocar, se clava el dedo. ¿Ves? Si toca y está duro, no sirve.
To get to this stage, the fresh hams are salted and left to dry for 2 months. The salt is then rinsed off and the legs are hung here to dry.
So at what stage are these at now? How long have they been in here for?
Vale. En Navidad de este año hacen 3 años.
Oh, really?
Es cuando el jamón está óptimo para partir.
In here, for a jamón lover like me, it's heaven. There's this really gorgeous, sweet smell of curing meat in the air, which is undeniably jamón. And everywhere you look, you see them hanging, which is just, getting me salivating.
Pepe's curing house overlooks the Dehesa, where the pigs live so happily. The fresh aroma from the hills fills the room, adding an extra level of flavour that can't be replicated anywhere else on earth.
This is really amazing. We were just in the field seeing how much love and care is put into the pigs and how unrestricted they are and free they are. And then to know that he's chosen this spot because it gets the beautiful, natural, unpolluted air from the Dehesa through curing the hams. It's a really sort of ethical way of doing things, and it's really good.
After all this love and care, it's easy to destroy a good jamón by slicing it badly. Machine cutting is a big no-no. Something of this quality should only be cut by hand.
I don't want to go too deep. Oh, I stuffed it up.
Mira.
Longer strokes, okay.
Bien.
Having him standing over my shoulder reminds me of when I was an apprentice and I had my chef there.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a bit of a slap at the back of the head and telling me I'm stuffing up. That's all right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. He's going, yeah, not too good. He's going to fix up my stuff-ups. Beautiful. You really want to eat this stuff when it's been sliced by hand. When it's a machine, it kind of heats up the fat and starts to change it. And what I've been taught to test the quality of the jamón is that it should melt at body temp, which is about that 30 degrees mark. And you can see it's changing, it's going greasy. It almost starts to dissolve into the skin. And that's how you can test the quality of a good jamón. but it doesn't matter how many tests you put it through. The best test is eating it. And it doesn't get much better than that. That's really good.
Pepe and Anna's love for their animals has got me thinking that I'd like to do a dish that honours the whole of the pig. Something that uses different cuts, but embraces that porky taste.
The dish I'm going to do, really simple, some great textures, some really beautiful product, and it's going to start with the morcilla, which is that blood sausage. Nice hot pan, and I just want to fry that off and create a bit of a golden edge on the sausage. A couple of pieces of bread, just some day-old bread, something that's going to suck up all that flavour. I've got some pig's ears, which have been braised and deep-fried, and a little dressing of caramelised onions. Finish that off, a touch of pimenton, sweet stuff. Quick splash of sherry vinegar to help cut some of that pork fat, and a little bit of parsley. And that's the base done. One other thing, big in tapas, is quail eggs. Now, these little things are great because they're packed with heaps of flavour. The last thing I have to do is slice a little bit of this jamón. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to slice this as good as Pepe did, but I'm going to give it a go. Some almond puree, which is just almonds boiled up in milk with a little bit of salt. That's just going to act as the base to anchor some of this beautiful stuff in there. Piece of sausage, pig's ears, quail egg. And just to finish it off, a little piece of jamón. There is actually Australian-style jamón that's made. This is the imported stuff. It just depends on how much you want to spend, really. And a couple of greens, just to bring it to life. And of course, a little splash of Spanish olive oil. Now, I haven't cooked much tapas in my time, but that looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Back in Sevilla, and I'm on the hunt for inspiration for a new dessert recipe.
In the height of spring, the streets of Sevilla are filled with the sweet smell of oranges. There's over 14,000 trees that line the alleys and laneways, and that, along with sugar, are one of the many legacies left here by the Moors.
I'm on the lookout for a new dessert recipe, so I've headed to the most famous bakery in Sevilla, Confiteria La Campana. We're out the back. Francesco and his crew are hard at work. Polvorones are a classic Andalusian sweet, and I'm keen to see how they're made.
Francisco, what's in the dough?
La masa está compuesta por manteca de cerdo, en canela, clavo y harina. Es la composición básica de... y el azúcar.
Yeah, of course.
En España, el dulce lleva mucho azúcar. Dejo aquí. Este proceso es fácil. No solamente es repartirla y sacarme de eso ya.
Once made, the polvorones are baked for a quick 20 minutes. They're then dusted in icing sugar, wrapped up and ready to be sold.
Well, these are really reminiscent of some of the sweets that you see in the Middle East. Everywhere you go in coffee shops and pastry shops, you see little brittle biscuits like this carved in icing sugar, and they're always really soft and... oh, really soft and brittle. It almost turns into like a dust or a powder in your mouth, and that's what the name means. Polvorone means dust, so I can understand why now. That's really good. Not bad.
Another sweet that's caught my eye is a type of egg custard called torcina de cielos. It uses egg yolks, lots of egg yolks.
Son 60 yemas. Solamente la deshacemos. Ya está.
Straight into the sugar.
Francesco is bringing a thick sugar syrup to the boil before whisking it into the egg yolks.
El tocino ya está hecho, lo que hay solamente colarlo nada más. Darle la engalladura y la partícula que tenga huevo, una pequeña cáscara. Ya está. Esto ya está para echarlo.
The mixture is poured into a tray pre-lined with a toffee base. It's then cooked in a bain-marie for about 35 minutes.
Este que está aquí.
Oh, it's finished.
Finí, este es 35. Esto para días no hay que darle frío, para que coja más cuerpo, porque hay que darle la vuelta para cortarlo en porciones.
Yep.
Francesco, thank you very much for being in your kitchen. You know, he runs a really tight ship, and it's great being in a real pastry kitchen where they make everything from scratch, and you can see he's got his eye on everyone in the kitchen. They're all watching what he's doing, but I know he knows what they're doing. So it's been a great experience, and that's a recipe that I think I might get into. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Gracias. Gracias. You know, I'm really curious to see what this little custard thing tastes like. The way he cooked it in the bain-marie with the toffee on top and then sliced it cold, it's a nice little technique. It's really good, really sweet. The toffee on top coats your mouth, and the egg custard inside is like double the intensity that the top is. It's a really sickly sweet dessert, but a nice texture. I've made a custard tart exactly the same way as Francesco and flavoured it with a bit of orange blossom. But I don't want to waste all those egg whites, and I've got a good idea. I'm going to make some sweet paprika meringues. Now, I know it sounds a little bit weird, but really it's a great flavour. Sweet, smoky, and with the sugar from the meringue, it's going to be a really nice touch to this dessert. I need to get some sugar, some water. I need to bring that up to about 115 degrees, so then I can add it to my eggs to make my meringue. Just want to make sure it's on a slow whisk and slowly add that sugar. And as that whisk is spinning, it's cooking the eggs, it's aerating it, and it's also cooling it down. And once that meringue's cool, it's done. Then you need to transfer that into a piping bag, just to pipe whatever shapes you want. Doesn't matter, it's all going to taste the same. It depends on how you want the dish to look. Then the little tasty bit, some sweet paprika. Just dust it over the top, and that goes in the oven about 120 degrees until they're really dry and crispy. So everything's ready for me to put this dish together. Just with a hot knife, I'm going to cut my custard. And just a nice little square of that. I've made a yuzu puree, so Japanese citrus. It's going to help cut all the egg and the sugar in there. And the clove biscuit, that powder biscuit that we have, just added a little bit of pistachio to lighten it up and make it a bit nutty. Some lemon balm shoots. I've made a pear sorbet, which is green pear, so it's really crisp and vibrant. And just my little sweet paprika meringue on top. And that, to me, that's got the flavours of Seville all in that little plate. I've got 3 new killer Moorish dishes. And at table 12, the girls from the Melbourne FC office will be the first to try them out. First up, I've taken the amazing, oily, gooey and yummy pork pringá and added lobster. Is that sacrilegious?
I love the lobster roll.
Lobster roll?
Yeah, same. That was my favourite.
Yeah. Secondly, nothing can beat a plate of sliced jamón. So instead, I've honoured the whole pig with my crunchy pig's ear and morcilla.
I was nervous, not gonna lie. Yeah.
Was it the first time you had pig's ear?
Yeah, nice and salty.
You know what that sausage was that you had in there?
We were wondering.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
It's blood sausage.
Yeah, I liked it.
And finally, my dessert. Francesco's tarts were beautiful. Have my additions of pear sorbet and yuzu added something?
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I like the crumb. It's delicious.
Well, I think I've kicked the goal with those 3.